Welcome to Subramani. Gold seems to be hitting a new high, at least in the US. India will, of course, benefit if the dollar also appreciates. But have you ever wondered why is gold so valuable? I mean, it has got it's held value over 4,000 years, right? And if you compare that to the history of equities, equities is just 200 years old, maybe 225. You could the maximum. Whereas gold has held its value over 4,000 years. What really helps gold hold on to that value for such a long period of time? So obviously scarcity. It's not easy to get gold from the ground and refine it and keep it, so that scarcity, where it is found and how difficult it is to mine it and own it, right? You have to own the mines, or you have to ensure that it is extracted, you have to ensure that it is kept safely. Imagine that difficulty. You had to run an army to be able to bring the gold from one location to another, right? So it required tremendous amount of effort to own gold. So that scarcity is a very big thing. Of course, it's got one thing is it never dies, right? So you could pick up a 3,000-year-old ornament, maybe found in the Egyptian mummy or somewhere in India or China, and you will be able to use it today. Just have to do nothing. It wouldn't have rusted. You should have collected some dust, so just wash it and you can use it, right? So this kind of longevity for which it can be preserved in very difficult conditions, that is another thing. Obviously it has got malleability, so I mean, it is ductile, it is malleable, no chemical and act on it. You've read all this, right? So all those put together makes gold very valuable, and therefore gold has been holding value for such a long period of time. It has been a mode of currency, right? So but gold was not really doing well till maybe in 1973. Then the US decided that they don't need gold as a backing. After that, gold started improving against the dollar also. Earlier it was not appreciating so much against the dollar. So if you see historic returns, gold gives you volatile returns and does not stick to that old wrong rule, but where you said higher the risk that you took, higher the return you got. In case of gold, it gave you the volatility of equity and returns less than debt, or even less than REITs. So is gold really attractive for you? But before that, let us answer another question. Why gold? Why not aluminium? Why not some other metal? Simply because aluminium used to be very valuable when it was found. Then the processes improved, electricity, I mean the energy cost came down. Then it became easy, so everybody could access aluminium. So instead of becoming a big metal which used to be kept in the locker, it became a can to carry your sugary syrup, right? So aluminium is again a very useful metal, used a lot. Gold is not used for anything, very little work. I don't think more than 5% of the world's gold usage is for electronics or things like that. Yes, some people use it for replacing their teeth, but that's also gone, right? So you don't see people with a golden smile anymore. There are ceramics have taken over, so that is also not of much use. But yes, it has got shining ability. So over a long period of time, it has retained its position vis-a-vis any other metal. So therefore we have answered this question as why gold and not something else. Something else just couldn't sustain there. So obviously there is, like I said, there is scarcity, there is durability, there is longevity, which is the reason why gold is considered to be such a great asset over such a long period of time. So owning gold means that you have the ability to dig, you have the ability to take it out, you have the ability to refine it, you have the ability, you have an army to look after it, which means you had people who would look after it. They were very strong people, but they would not steal it, right? So it was your message to the world that you are capable of doing all this. Therefore the value of gold kept increasing. But not so much in modern day, right? Today you can just pay money and buy it. So, but there is proof that I have the ability to collect so much of gold. So maybe you're just paying money and buying it, but then countries like say the US would have something like 8,000 tons. India has a lot of gold but kept inside the lockers of houses which are not using it. Too many people I know would have kept gold for 30 years, 40 years in lockers without even touching it, without even using it, not even selling it, right? They don't sell it, they don't rent it, they don't hire it, they don't do anything. But think of an asset which is so, which has got universal appeal, not just among men, not just among women, among men also, just for jewelry which they don't even use. So that is the kind of appeal that gold has, and therefore the scarcity and therefore the price. Is it a good investment for you? Well, if you are a person who looks at individual return, the answer is no. But if you are looking at a portfolio return, then yes, right? It calms your nerves when the markets are very volatile, right? That's a time when gold could be up and you could be very happy about that. Is that a time when you will sell and buy it back? That I don't know. But if you are an investor and you only look at overall returns, then you won't worry too much about having too much of gold or too much of cash in your hand. The other advantage of holding gold is sometime in say March 2020, if you had gold, that was the only asset class which was up. So if you had sold in March 2020 and used that money to buy equity, that would have been just fantastic. But that's a time when you're perhaps scared. So when gold goes through its ups and downs, you should be willing to sell gold at higher prices, because it's a very bad asset class in terms of drawdown. It can have very long periods. I think the whole of the 1990s, gold was in a very bad shape in the US, right? So, but now it is at a very good price, but still I think it is less than, it is about 90% of the peak that it reached in 2020. So if you started investing in 2020 to 2023, you've not really made much money. Even you must have just about broken even or made a little money. But gold can be volatile after some time. If the Ukraine war ends, maybe gold prices will go down. But if some other war starts, maybe gold prices go up. Gold is a very... So should you invest in gold? The answer has to be, if you're looking at portfolio returns, you should. If you're looking at individual returns, you should not. And if you're accumulating gold for some reason, I wouldn't say daughter's marriage or things like that, but for some particular reason you want to acquire an X amount of gold, then yes, SGP is a good idea, but very clearly you're holding it for 8 years, and end of 8 years maybe you can exchange it for physical gold. The whole process is tax free, right? So you get 2.5% interest per annum, which is of course taxable. So those are the reasons. But if you are not, if you're going to look for it in an individual basis, you could have long periods of disappointment. Like even say 2020 to 2023, the gold has gone up, but obviously the market has gone up much faster. Your Sensex or S&P 500 would have gone up much faster than what gold went up. So be careful about gold as an investment and see whether it suits you. It may not suit everybody, but overall it stabilizes your portfolio. I've already said that one. About gold is, some of us think of it as a relic of the past and no longer necessary. Some of us who have now been brought up on videos about de-dollarization, we are saying, okay, if the dollar is going to fall in value, why not hold some gold? So the truth lies somewhere in between, that is it a relic of the past? Yes, but it has 4,000-year history. Will it give good returns? Yes, it might, but it will also give you tremendous amount of volatility. For 4 years, 5 years, it could remain completely without any returns. Also remember, it has got zero return other than the appreciation, right? Unlike say a real estate which can be given on rent, or bonds which carry coupon, gold does not carry any coupon. It does not create any cash flow. All the prosperity that you have, or all the return that you want, has to be generated only by the price going up. That seems to be a little risky. So somewhere divided. I have some SGBs. I do not have any other form of gold. I mean, some physical form of gold lying in the locker. I have some shares in a company called Deccan Gold. I don't seriously know what is the connection between Deccan Gold, the listed share, versus the gold prices. I hold some of it, bought long ago, but I'm just holding on to it. So that's my view on gold. SGB once or twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, but definitely once a year for sure, maybe more than that. So does it help in the overall portfolio? Yes, definitely it brings some stability, but is it significant for me to say, oh, it brings stability to my portfolio? Answer is no. Maybe less than 2% or 5% is in gold. So it does not really matter for me, but like they say, the beauty of gold is in the eyes of the beholder. If you like the shiny metal, make it a part of your portfolio, but don't look at individual return in gold unless you're looking for selling. Suppose you are getting an average return of about 9% and suddenly you find now it is 15%. It's a good indicator that you could get rid of some of the gold that you have. Thank you.